Session. I hope you can hear me and I'm audible to you and you can see me also. I'm just checking whether I'm live and I can see your chats here. So good evening everyone and welcome to the session. And I'm doing this session in this series on MBA as a career and essentially what we are looking at is my focus. Area in the session today is going to be, of course, on what specializations you should look at. And yes, I can see that I'm live here. Welcome everyone. And what specialization? How do you decide on specializations? What are the different specializations available? Hi Farhan, welcome to the class. What are the different specializations available, and how do you decide on what specialization to take up when you are talking about deciding on your MBA? Right. So I have a few views on this, and we'll go through a pre-prepared presentation that I have for you. So uske through हम लोग we'll discuss this point. Good evening Harshita, and good evening everybody else who's here in the class. So yeah, so now I hope you can see this. My presentation. So MBA specialization, again, it's an important aspect, and many times when you go for your interviews, they ask you two questions in the interviews. One is, why do you want to do an MBA? And the second question they ask you is sometimes as part of the answer to why do you want to do an MBA, you also want to talk about what specialization you want to do. So one of the answers to why you want to do an MBA. Hi Vaibhav and hi Rajveer. So one of the answers to why you want to do an MBA has as part of his answer that I've got a very strong interest in marketing or finance or HR. So when you open your cards in that fashion, obviously then you are telling the interviewer that this is the specific area I want to apply for or I'm looking at specializing in your course. But if you choose, you can take that interview question in a different direction also. So why do you want to do an MBA does not necessarily have to be based on a specialization. So the way I talk about it, the way I talk about the whole issue is very simple. I talk about in the context that when you are talking about your why I want to do an MBA answer, so you talk about where you want to be in life. So there is a progression that you talk about. So for example, let me take a whiteboard. As teachers, you always used to whiteboards, etc. So you are on a journey in life, and you want to take this journey into this direction. So why should you do an MBA basically? And even the question, whether you're answering this question to the interviewer or you're answering this to yourself, why should I do an MBA? Essentially the main reason for an MBA is this jump in your career. Please don't look at it myopically. I see a lot of you looking at it very myopically. बहुत short-sighted way में तुम लोग देखते हो उसको कि मेरे को जॉब मिल जाएगा, मैं अभी वाली जॉब से निकल जाऊंगा. That's not how you should look at an MBA and why you want to do an MBA. Look at where you want to head to in 20 years. Or in the next 20 years, where you want to head to. और उस journey के duration में, उस journey के length में, के duration में, what are the skill sets and what are the things you want to keep with yourself, how you want to change who you are, so that you embark on this journey. Otherwise your journey has the danger of continuing this path. So इस path में भी growth है, but you will never realize the kind of growth you missed if you had taken or if you had been able to take this angle. So the MBA is basically to change the angle of trajectory of a career. That's what the whole idea is. And this trajectory of the career does not necessarily need to start with a very high paying job to start with. Some of my own batchmates who passed out of IIM Bangalore with me, they took up low paying jobs but went towards the process of learning. So when you talk about why you should do an MBA, the most important component of your current lifestyle, life plans or lifetimes. I'm assuming you are either in graduation or recently passed out of graduation, maybe 2, 3, 5 years later after graduation. So your timeline from the time you are around 18, 19, 20 to the timeline to where you are around 25, 27. The most important component of this part of your career is what I call as the L word. The L word basically means learning. What skills do you develop in yourself? What competencies do you develop in yourselves? So your first focus for the next 7, 8, 10 years should not be on the job, on the job profile. It should not be on the job designation. It should not be on the money the job is paying you. Right? In fact, a very close friend of mine, who's one of the leading advisors on these television channels for mutual funds, etc., and stock markets, he started off with a very low paying job with State Bank of India from IIM Bangalore. He had options of taking those Citibank kind of companies, but his focus was very clear that I want to learn through SBI mutual funds. He wanted to join SBI mutual funds, and the pay of the SBI mutual fund was almost 1/3 the pay that a Citibank was offering at that time. But he took that hit, and the way he took that hit, for the first 3-4 years it was a hit. But then once he started outperforming everybody else in the batch, he became one of the leading names in the country on that. So that is something, and you will see him regularly on Times Now and ET Now, and he has an exclusive contract with those companies where they pay him almost 1 crore of rupees a year, just for making sure that he does not go to any other channel to advise. So that's the kind of opportunities you have available these days. And when you're talking about looking at the balance sheet, don't look at the balance sheet for the first 7-8 years. Don't look at what you earn and what you do not earn. The journey is mostly composed of what kind of work you do, not what kind of money you make. And if you can actually do this, and as they say, 10 years, 8 to 10 years of career, you can learn anything. You can become a master at anything you want. So once you get to that point, you will realize that because you've played a long-term game, there are very few people who can match up to what you can do. And then the way you will zoom, there will be nobody to stop you or nobody to compete with you. So learning is the most important component of your first 8-10 years of a journey, and the MBA in between. Why you should do an MBA is basically because you want to learn in a proper atmosphere with a structured program where you are completely immersed into that course, into that program, and the MBA is part of this learning journey. So why do you want to do an MBA? Why should one do an MBA? It's because Rajveer, academic percentage matter, but not in all IIMs. See, the top 3 IIMs have an opportunity to choose. They have an opportunity to tell you कि नहीं तुम्हारा अच्छा percentage नहीं, हम नहीं लेंगे तुमको. But उसके नीचे जब जाओगे तो there are enough opportunities at the second level IIMs and even the baby IIMs and the new IIMs. वहाँ चले जाओ, then go to an XLRI, go to an MDI, go to an FMS. See, the private sector is not like the IAS exam. IAS exam में क्या होता है? You become an IAS at the age of 23, 24, 25. You'll remain an IAS officer till the age of 55. So there's a guarantee that you'll always be above people from other backgrounds, from people who got other services. तो एक IAS ऑफिसर बना और एक UP PCS ऑफिसर बना, तो IAS ऑफिसर हमेशा उसके ऊपर ही रहेगा करियर में. The UP PCS officer, as far as he is in the government service, cannot, or any state PCS officer cannot hope to overcome the IAS officer during a 30-year career. But in corporate, 5 years of performance can make it this thing. So what you basically do an MBA for is to add value to you. So you have to look at, I mean, of course, ABC are known not just for their past, they're also known for what value they give you as a student, and what value addition they give you, the delta they give you when you join them. But then that delta is also replicated in other B schools. So you can't say that an IIM Udaipur is bad, or an IIM Trichy is bad, or an IIM let's say Kozhikode is worse than IIM Ahmedabad. It's not a black and white comparison. What matters is what you take out of the MBA. So if I go to IIM Ahmedabad and I don't take out enough out of the MBA, and you go to IIM Trichy and you take out more of the MBA than I do from IIM Ahmedabad, you will be better off than me. It's as simple as that. And as I said, there are no guarantees. So coming back, how do you decide on your specialization in MBA? So first point of this is predisposition. Do you have a predisposition towards an area? स्पेशलाइजेशन की जब बात करें तो 4 मेजर स्पेशलाइजेशन होते हैं. एक मार्केटिंग होता है, एक फाइनेंस होता है, एक ऑपरेशंस होता है, चौथा ह्यूमन रिसोर्सेज होता है. ऑफ कोर्स यू आल्सो हैव इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड एक्सेट्रा. No Rajat, entrance exam scores do not have an impact on jobs. Once you go for jobs, you are just asked about your performance during the MBA, not pre-MBA, not during the entrance exams, etc. They don't look at those things, right? So predisposition अगर तुम्हारा है, I mean, how do you decide on a specialization in MBA? Do you have, first thing you ask yourself is, do you have a predisposition? So for example, obviously अगर तुम finance BCom अगर किए हुए, if you've done a BCom, your predisposition will be toward finance, or you have done a BBA with a finance specialization, you'll have a predisposition. But if you are an engineer, you might not have a predisposition towards anything, because you have not studied any of these. Marketing is also as new to you as finance is, as operations is, and as human resources is. तो predisposition अगर है तो तुम डिसाइड कर सकते हो कि दिस इज माई एरिया, दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट टू डू. नहीं है predisposition अगर for a particular this thing, then the second thing you can look at is your personality traits. What kind of personality traits do you have? What kind of skills you have? So for example, goes without saying that if you want to get into a finance course, you should be well versed with numerical skills. Your numerical skills and your number skills should be strong. It's difficult for a person with bad numerical skills and bad number crunching abilities to enter a finance course, or to I mean, it's not just the course. When you take a specialization, most of the time, most likely, it's a 30-year decision to be in that career, right? You're trying to build your career for a 30-year period, right? So in case you have a predisposition towards that subject through some skills that you have. Just say if you are a very outgoing person, again, this is something which is a misconception about marketing. If you normally do marketing, if you are a very outgoing person, etc. Yes, marketing does involve more people skills than finance does, definitely. But marketing is also about number crunching and data analysis. Because आजकल तो marketing is not about talking to people. It's mostly about analyzing data and taking decisions based on data analysis. So you need very strong analytical skills even in the marketing area. But yes, if you are very people driven, very people oriented, and you don't like traveling, marketing has a traveling component in it. Marketing has a very strong traveling component in it. So if you don't have a marketing traveling bug, or you don't like traveling, then marketing might not be the area for you. Then you either go for finance, or you go for, if you are completely people driven but not number driven in terms of your skills, then you can head over towards finance also, towards HR also, right? So these are the various ways, the couple of ways in which you talk about whether you either have a pre-studied predisposition, or you have or you have a skill based predisposition towards a particular subject. But the moot question that comes when I talk to MBA aspirants, when I talk to MBA aspirants like you guys about specialization, and when people come to me about what specialization should I take, etc. So the moot question that does come up is: do you really need to decide on specialization before reaching your B school? So that's an important question for you to understand. That the answer to this question is 95% no, because most B schools will not ask you, or even most interviews, they don't expect you to know marketing. अगर तुमको marketing आता ही था तो तुम MBA करने क्यों आते? So unless it's part of a subject, अगर तुम BBA किया उसमें marketing पढ़े हो, तो they might ask you, just like they can ask you if you've done engineering and you've done civil engineering, so they can ask you about leveling of surfaces or whatever, any area of civil engineering के बारे में पूछ सकते हैं, stresses and strains in buildings, etc. They can ask you anything about it, right? So as part of your pre-studied subject, they can ask you that. But just because you have, typically, in fact, I remember this used to be one of the biggest questions we had in our minds when we were joining our B school journey, and people were just asking me this. The first thing from many people was when we joined, the first question many people asked, and we obviously had our seniors who were mentoring us, or the B school profs who were mentoring us at IIM Bangalore. तो पहला क्वेश्चन जो हम लोग जाके वहाँ पूछे थे वो यही था कि स्पेशलाइजेशन कौन सा लें. एंड यू नो द आंसर वी गॉट अक्रॉस द बोर्ड, एंड दिस इज द आंसर वी स्टार्टेड गिविंग टू आवर जूनियर्स व्हेन वी बिकेम सीनियर्स द नेक्स्ट ईयर. And this is one of the answers that is actually my favorite answer with respect to what specialization you should decide on. The answer is that जब तुम MBA में घुसते हो तो you really do not know what marketing is, what finance is. They're just words for you. So the answer we got from all our seniors about this major issue was कि बेटा तुम पहले एक साल पढ़ो, just do your first year. First year के end में तुमको समझ में आएगा. फर्स्ट ईयर के एंड में तुमको समझ में आएगा कि मार्केटिंग होता क्या है, फाइनेंस होता क्या है, HR होता क्या है. बिकॉज इन द फर्स्ट ईयर इन एनी MBA कोर्स, when you enter a general MBA course, the first year is completely built on a mixture of all subjects. It's like an engineering course. Engineering course में first year में everybody studies common subjects. और उसके बाद सेकेंड ईयर में द मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग पीपल गेट सेपरेटेड फ्रॉम द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स इंजीनियरिंग पीपल एंड द सिविल इंजीनियरिंग पीपल. द फर्स्ट ईयर ऑफ द कोर्स इज नॉर्मली द सेम. Similarly, the first year of your MBA is completely, the only difference is when you're joining engineering, you had already pre-decided कि मेरे को मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग मिल रहा है, because that's how the counseling is built and that's how admissions are built. But when you're joining a B school, you have the decision to make of what specialization you want to go, what subjects you want to study in the second year at the end of the first year. So the most valuable piece of advice we got, and I continuously give to people who ask me this question, is first year पहले करो properly, do your first year, allow the first year to finish when you join an MBA, and you really don't need to pre-decide. You can have a mindset कि ठीक है मैं finance की तरफ ज़्यादा inclined हूँ, मैं marketing की तरफ ज़्यादा inclined हूँ, ठीक है. Utkarsh, if you have a vision issue, you can apply under the disabled category. So that will help you in the interviews. The competition will significantly reduce. Or this thing, ठीक है. So coming back, so that's the main point. Don't you really don't need to have a firm answer to this question. Sometimes they do ask you this in the interview कि कौन सा स्पेशलाइजेशन डिसाइड किया हो. उसका 2-3 आंसर हो सकता है. अगर तुम प्रीडिस्पोज्ड हो, और प्रीडिस्पोजिशन को तुम बढ़ा भी सकते हो. जैसे that's one of the things that you can do if you want to improve your profile. अगर तुम्हारा प्रोफाइल पुअर है या प्रोफाइल वीक है और तुम अपने प्रोफाइल को डेवलप करने को यूज़ कर रहे हो, तो व्हाट यू आर ट्राइंग टू डेवलप योर प्रोफाइल for your GDPI process after your CAT or your entrance test. So what you need to understand is आजकल का जो बी स्कूल सिनेरियो है, तुम्हारा कोई भी परसेंटाइल आएगा, तुमको एक स्पेक्ट्रम ऑफ कॉल्स मिलेगा. There will be a top call, there will definitely be a best call, and there will be a worst call. So during your preparation for CAT, you should also make sure that your preparation is also supporting your ability to convert the top call. टॉप कॉल को कन्वर्ट करने का एबिलिटी को सपोर्ट कर रहा है तुम्हारा प्रिपरेशन. दिस इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. सो उस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में तुम ये काम कर सकते हो. दिस वन ऑफ द थिंग्स यू कैन डिसाइड इफ यू वांट टू रियली इन्वेस्ट योर टाइम इनटू दिस, दैट तुम मार्केटिंग, फाइनेंस, स्पेसिफिकली दीज टू एरियाज, मे बी इंटरनेशनल बिजनेस के कुछ बेसिक कोर्सेज जो ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल हैं. You can go to websites like edX.org. In fact, I remember a couple of years back, we had gone to IIM Bangalore as a batch. हमारा बैच गया था IIM Bangalore के कैंपस में, और वहाँ पे the director had come to meet us. And the director and the top faculties, couple of the top faculties had come to meet us during the welcome address to our batch. It was 25 years since we had joined. 2018 की बात कर रहा हूँ मैं. तो जब हम लोग गए वहाँ पे, when we reached that point and when we were being talked about, when the director was talking about how the IIM Bangalore has changed over the last 25 years, you know what? He spoke to us for around 30 minutes. उस 30 मिनट्स में द IIM Bangalore डायरेक्टर का 15 मिनट्स का डिस्कशन वाज ऑन हाउ IIM Bangalore हैज़ इट्स ओन कोर्सेज नाउ ऑन edX स्पेसिफिकली, एंड ही वाज वेरी प्राउड ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट हम लोग अब edX पे आ गए. नाउ इमेजिन करो, तुम बाहर हो, यू आर आउटसाइड, यू आर प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर योर बी स्कूल, तुम IIM Bangalore के कोर्सेज को फॉलो करके जाते हो, एंड यू डू ऑल द कोर्सेज दैट IIM Bangalore हैज़ ऑन edX.org. And obviously every course, when you take up these courses from various websites for profile building and for knowledge, both things, not just profile building, also for knowledge. In fact, do it for knowledge, profile building अपने आप होगा. When you do these courses of those websites, of those available resources, so what happens is, rather than just saying that I have an interest in marketing, you start showing a demonstrated interest in marketing. उसके बाद तुम इंटरव्यू में एक बार घुस जाओ, उसके बाद IIM जाके तुम मार्केटिंग बोले थे और उसके बाद तुम फाइनेंस कर लो, दैट्स ओके. नोबडी इज गोइंग टू चेक, नोबडी इज गोइंग टू रिमेंबर आल्सो कि तुमने इंटरव्यू में मार्केटिंग बोला था, फाइनेंस कैसे ले रहे हो. बट यू आर फेसिंग टू प्रॉब्लम्स राइट नाउ. यू आर फेसिंग, फर्स्ट प्रॉब्लम इज हाउ डू यू गेट टू द बेस्ट पॉसिबल प्लेस, एंड इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट दिस माइट बी अ गुड स्ट्रैटेजी कि तुम edX.org पे चले जाओ, कोर्सेरा पे चले जाओ, स्टैनफोर्ड कर लो, स्टैनफोर्ड के कोर्सेज कर लो, हार्वर्ड के कोर्सेज कर लो ऑनलाइन, एंड बिल्ड योर प्रोफाइल. एंड when they tell you, when they ask you your interests or hobbies, you say that I'm suppose you are a pharmacy student, और तुमसे ये क्वेश्चन पूछता है कि why do you want to do an MBA. तो दो स्टूडेंट हैं, X और Y, दोनों फ्रेंड्स हैं, दोनों से एक सवाल पूछा जाता है, why do you want to do an MBA. तो X बोलता है कि मेरे को MBA में इंटरेस्ट है, Y बोलता है, दोनों बोलते हैं मेरे को MBA में इंटरेस्ट है. उसके बाद X डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट्स दैट इंटरेस्ट कि मैंने लास्ट 2 साल में ये सब सब्जेक्ट्स पढ़े हैं, ये सब कोर्सेज किए हैं ऑनलाइन. Y सिर्फ बोलता है कि मेरे को इंटरेस्ट है, and he does not have any demonstrated interest behind it. He's not done anything on it. Who will you select? Obviously you will select X if they have the same profiles and everything else is same. So it gives you a very strong edge if you've done this. सो जो IIM बैंगलोर का डायरेक्टर के लिए इतना पैशनेट प्रोजेक्ट है कि edX पे हम लोग कोर्स ला रहे हैं, एंड वी आर रीचिंग आउट बियॉन्ड द वॉल्स ऑफ आवर इंस्टीट्यूट. सो इफ यू रेजोनेट विद दैट एंड यू हैव एक्चुअली यूज्ड दोज कोर्सेज, ऑब्वियसली तुमको प्रोफाइल में पॉइंट्स देगा वो, एंड द इंटरव्यू विल आल्सो हैव प्री डिस्पोजिशन टुवर्ड्स यू. ही लाइक व्हाट ही सीज. सो इंटरव्यूअर जैसे हिमांशु मेरे से पूछ रहा है कि BSc 9 CGPA है और 10th में 10 CGPA, 12th में 94 है, तो your profile is pretty good. as Shivam says, rock kar diyo. That's true. You actually rocked it, but you are in a competitive scenario, so you want every small advantage that you can get it. और best part क्या है ना, ये courses जब करोगे तो ये courses के साथ reading आएगा, और जो reading करोगे वो तुम्हारे VRC को भी सुधारेगा. Any reading you do will help you in VRC. You might not be able to measure it directly, but वो definitely improve करेगा तुमको, तुम्हारे scores को. तो इट्स नॉट दैट जब तुम ये सब कर रहे हो तो यू आर गोइंग अवे फ्रॉम योर कैट प्रेप. ठीक है. सो द वे आई टेल पीपल इसकी, सपोज तुम्हारा प्रोफाइल अच्छा है या बहुत ख़राब है, जो दोनों स्पेक्ट्रम से जो भी प्रोफाइल है तुमको उसके साथ जीना पड़ेगा. एंड यू देन हैव टू से कि व्हाट इज द बेस्ट प्लेस आई कैन गेट टू एंड ट्राई टू गेट देयर. एंड देन सो यू गो, सपोज यू डोंट गेट टू IIM, तुम्हारा कोई 90 परसेंटाइल कॉलेज में हो जाता है, IMT गाजियाबाद 4 में हो जाता है, इस तरह के लेवल के कॉलेज में होता है. IMT 4 टैपमी इसमें होता है, 85-90 परसेंटाइल वाले कॉलेज में होता है. यू डोंट गेट टू द टॉप 10. तो वहाँ पे जाके अगर तुम टॉप 10 में रहते हो तो तुम वहाँ से बेस्ट प्लेसमेंट ले लो. तो IIM अहमदाबाद वाला जो एवरेज प्लेसमेंट वाला होगा उसके लेवल पे आ जाओगे तुम. यू विल बी इन द सेम लेवल एज द एवरेज प्लेसमेंट ऑफ IIM अहमदाबाद. राइट. सो एज आई सेड राइट फ्रॉम द स्टार्ट ऑफ द सेशन, इट्स नॉट अबाउट कि IIM अहमदाबाद पहुँचे तो IAS बन गए, और 4 और IMT पहुँचे तो यू कांट ओवरटेक दैट पर्सन. सो इट्स अ 30-year career and there will be many opportunities for you to come back and beat people who beat you during this time. What you have to do is look at your profile, look at the practicalities of this profile. So for example, अगर तुम्हारा परसेंटेज ख़राब है, 70 के 80 के नीचे है 10-12 में, तो IIM अहमदाबाद और बैंगलोर का चांसेस कम हो जाता है. कैलकाटा स्टिल है चांसेस. ठीक है ना. सो कमिंग बैक, सो एज आई सेड, तो जो कोर डिसीजन तुम्हारा है कि तुमको स्पेशलाइजेशन क्या करना है, वो डिले कर दो. 5% केसेस में some institutes ask you to pre-decide. So there are some examples like Narsim Monji has few courses in marketing. तो तुम जब ज्वाइन कर रहे हो, अगर मार्केटिंग का कोर्स ज्वाइन किया उनके साथ, तो यू आर ऑलरेडी pre-decided what you are doing. If you go to an IRMA kind of college, Institute of Rural Management आनंद, तो वहाँ अगर जाते हो तो ऑलरेडी तुम्हारा pre-decision हो चुका है कि तुम रूरल मैनेजमेंट कर रहे हो. राइट. सो दैट्स द ओनली 5% केसेस. माइका जाते हो तो एडवर्टाइजिंग और कम्युनिकेशन ही करोगे. यू कांट डू फाइनेंस आउट ऑफ माइका. XLRI के पर्सनल मैनेजमेंट प्रोग्राम में जा रहे हो तो PMIR वाले प्रोग्राम में जा रहे हो तो यू आर डूइंग एन HR कोर्स. सो यू आर प्री डिसाइडेड. सो दैट्स अबाउट 10% ऑफ द गेम. राइट. दैट्स अबाउट 10% ऑफ द गेम. यस हिमांशु, BSc के लिए एकेडमिक डाइवर्सिटी का एडवांटेज होगा IIM में. राइट. सो ब्रॉडली when you want to decide कि मेरे को क्या करना है, मार्केटिंग करना है कि फाइनेंस करना है, थोड़े से जॉब प्रोफाइल्स का भी एनालिसिस कर लेना ड्यूरिंग योर फर्स्ट ईयर. ये अभी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है तुमको. तो टिपिकली मार्केटिंग में 2 तरह का जॉब प्रोफाइल्स होता है. B2C मार्केटिंग का प्रोफाइल्स होता है, B2B का होता है. बट दीज आर वेरी वास्ट फील्ड्स. एंड अगेन वन मोर थिंग, अब हर्षा बोगली ने किस चीज़ में किया था MBA? He might have done finance or marketing because Ahmedabad से most people do that only. लेकिन उसका करियर कहाँ गया? The kind of career he is doing from after an MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, does it have anything related to the standard profiles in marketing or finance? The answer is no. ठीक है ना? So as I said, Shivam, even if your grades are not good, don't worry. There is always some way to come back. Right? So an MBA, what it does basically, that brings me back to the question why MBA. An MBA, what it does, it is expands your profile. It expands your horizon. Right? तो तुम एक क्रिकेट कमेंटेटर भी बन सकते हो सक्सेसफुल without having played cricket at any serious level, or you can also become a Reserve Bank of India governor out of an MBA. Or you can of course go into the standard career options that most people get to. Right? So that's what an MBA does. और ये जो specialization होता है, that gives you a start in one particular area. But ultimately, to marketing se jao, finance se jao, when you start heading companies, etc., when you start becoming the head honchos or the CEOs of company, then you are doing all functions ultimately. So the ladder is different, but once you reach the top, you are doing all functions. You have to do marketing function, you have to do finance function, and everything. राइट ए बी सी के लिए ठीक है सुभाशीष, ए बी के लिए शायद थोड़ा चैलेंज रहेगा, बट देखो कुछ भी करो, कोई भी तुम्हारा प्रोफाइल, आई मीन द वे आई वांट यू टू लुक एट इट essentially is that the way I want you to look at it essentially is that कुछ भी करो, परसेंटाइल खराब क्यों लोगे? जो भी प्रोफाइल है तुम्हारा, ट्राई टू गेट योर बेस्ट परसेंटाइल पॉसिबल. Why should you look for below par percentile? You should not. Right? So I hope I've given you. Yeah. So Shivam, if you've done a digital marketing course and from Google, to add a few more courses of that side. तो तुम्हारे marketing profile के लिए एक अच्छा वो बन जाएगा. तो then you can go ahead and when you go to the interview stages and this thing, you can talk about your interest in marketing. राइट, एज ए सेड, तुम MBA जाओ, फर्स्ट ईयर के बाद तुमको फाइनेंस अच्छा लगने लगा, फाइनेंस कर लेना, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, पर इंटरव्यू निकलना एक सेकंड पार्ट है उसका. ठीक है निखिल, लॉट ऑफ चांसेस, गुड चांसेस फॉर फ्रेशर्स टू गेट इनटू IIMs. लॉट ऑफ फ्रेशर्स गेट थ्रू. 87, 61, 7 CGPA. बैंड ए कॉलेज मिल जाएगा अर्थर को. मे बी, I think, as I said, Ahmedabad and Bangalore are two colleges that have the guts and the औकात also of saying that मेरे को प्रोफाइल देखना और मेरे को अच्छा academics वाले ही चाहिए. Other colleges always have a I'm not saying IIM Calcutta does not have that ability to or that brand name. It does have, but they don't do it so much. XLRA does not do it so much. FMS Delhi does not do it so much. So score a good percentile. Score a 99, 99.5 plus percentile. And for that you need to score maybe अगर तुम 95 percentile target करते हो तो तुमको 130 score करना पड़ेगा, 120, 130 CAT में. अगर तुम 98, 99.5 percentile target करते हो तो CAT में you'll have to score 180, 170, 180. So 40 marks का difference है basically. Right? So I hope you guys enjoyed the session. This last slide is my courses which are coming up or ongoing on Unacademy Plus. The foundation course on LR, the foundation course on DI, advanced course on DI, 200 must-do questions in QA. This is upcoming. The ZAT special course and the IFT special course is also upcoming. And Arun.YT is my promo code. You can use that to join. We can help you do it better at the CAT. Right? So I hope this thing. Yeah. So I'm Indore, maybe yes, but Indore, मतलब इंदौर के बदले तुमको कोझिकोड मिल जाएगा, शिलोंग मिल जाएगा. There's so many other colleges which will take you. Right? Where it becomes more or less even after that. A and B are the two things which are out of your scope. ठीक है ना? So there, उसके नीचे जो colleges हैं, कुछ colleges देखते हैं ज़्यादा seriously, कुछ नहीं देखते हैं seriously. You'll have enough options, but the bottom line is you don't stop scoring well in CAT. You have to do that before you want, because that's a prerequisite. उसके बिना कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. ठीक है, चलो. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the session, and I'll be live again with you very soon. Bye bye everybody. Thank you. Operations course for IT से operations में क्यों जाओगे? That's a question mark, Gokul. Normally IT will you might want to do system specialization than operations. Systems is another specialization that you have, so you might not want to get into operations. Operations more of production and more towards this mechanical engineering side kind of people. ठीक है.